Hey, it's Andrew. I wanted to do a quick video here talking about the deck that I brought to the Forge Premier League. Um, so this is Crawley, Breadland Centurion, and I've covered this a couple times before. I opened it at a sealed event where I actually got second with it. A good friend of mine opened a Brobnar deck. Yes, a Worlds Collide Brobnar deck, which beat this. And there's a reason. There's a reason. So yeah, and there's a reason why I decided to bring this for adaptive. This is what I use to win an adaptive prime, and it's a very good adaptive deck. So all right, let's talk about it. So first off, it has a nice kind of speedy logos package. If you can get Edie and 3 wormhole technicians on the board, you're very happy. You can archive a lot of stuff and set up for really nice. Windbolt emissions are fine. They're really good. They're really good for plinking wards and for killing small, annoying, elusive things. Apsis is cool. Mini Groupthink Tank is a fun puzzle to work with. And then Neutron Shark can be so good in right circumstances. This deck doesn't have a ton of actions. It has some, but it's not super action heavy. So Quant ends up being just okay. Sometimes it's nice, but just okay, and it can be a really good target for good Neutron Shark fodder. And so is the Sanitation Engineer. So there you go. The Saurian is, I think, it's very good. The Saurian is a huge part of what makes it that good. 3 failing strikes is just crushing. If you have a decent sized board and those 3 things in your hand, you can kill 6 creatures. Now, we don't have a way in this deck to ever get rid of Amber. There's no Ludo. So when you exalt a creature, that Amber is either going to stay on a creature or it's going to go to your pool, and that's just the way it works. So that is something you have to keep track of here. The city state interest, if you have a big board, is devastating. Stomp, more great. Board control here. 2 Retor Gallums is very good. If the the Golden Spiral can be fine. Odoak protects us from steel. Pompetus turns Exalt into big creature, and so this becomes a really crushing board. It's weak to giant stun and board wipe effects. So way to Dees, Unlocked Gateway, Coward's End, sometimes Save the Pack. Key to Dees, obviously. For Zap, Phosphorus Stars, things like that. Blinding Light tend to be sad. Notice the expected Amber on this is only 9.5. For a while it was listed, I think, 6 or 7 or something. That's because there are actually only 6 Amber Pips back. The Failing Strikes, the Stomp, Ultimate. Those are the, oh no, that's not true. I lied. You have the 2 Light of the Archons. Yeah, so 8. 8 Amber Pips. It's really not a lot. And so to get Amber with this deck, you have to have creatures board and you have to be. Okay. On the Starlight side, we have our 1 word wipe-ish card, and that's Quintrino Flex. It creates, again, fun puzzles where you can really work out situations that get you ahead, but it's easy to deploy suboptimally. In Countersuit, you can build a really nice Voltron creature, and you'll see that happen a few times during this event. Odoak and Spears are both really good candidates because if you have a Spears, especially if you get Spears with Golden Spiral, because once you have the Starlands board out, you kind of, it's there, right? You're not going to be, there aren't a lot of, if your creatures aren't getting destroyed, there's only one action here. So the upgrades stay out, the creatures stay out, and suddenly there's no point in using spears if um, you aren't going to draw into any Starlines cards. However, in Saurian, it's different. If you use Golden Spiral on spears, you can draw back into your Failing Strikes, your Stomp, your very powerful. Yeah, so we have a little bit of ward, not much, but just a little bit. Morpheus is really good with the Saurian setup. It's good with the Edai as well. Morpheus Neutron Shark can even be pretty good. I had somebody ask me about this. Isn't that redundant? But no, because sometimes you play Neutron Shark, you want to do a lot of wipes, but you hit a Logos card from your discard, Neutron Shark stops. But with the Morpheus, the first time that happens, the Neutron Shark can start back up again, get more. So it's actually quite powerful. Okay, so that's that. Like I said, it's because it only has 8 printed amber, you can't just play through this deck and have it. You have to use it. You have to use it well. That said, if you do use it well, you end up in a situation where key cost for your opponent is very high. You have total board control. You always have the cards you want, and you're able to actually get a lot. But you'll see in these games, a lot of times it starts out slow because we're working on getting state. And then once we have this inevitable board state, we just keep pushing forward. But in a lot of these games, you'll see it looks like it's losing at the beginning because it's struggling to actually start to get momentum. I'm always interested to see how this plays against decks with Infernus because it's hard to know what to against the deck. I think it's hard to get it right. A lot of people don't. Yeah. Oh, and then of course, because I think most people are used to decks that have like a couple combos, or they have, well, just play a lot of cards. There are some really good decks that do that, but because this is one of them, a lot of people struggle to play the deck. So it is at 83 SAS. It is a deck that I can often in an adaptive game. See that throughout this event. I think all told, won 4 games or against this deck. So having a deck that can win game 1 but also can 2 is very nice for adaptive. So okay, having said that, we'll be done. Have any thoughts or questions? Yeah, I'm happy to hear my way. If you have specific questions, I think this is a really fantastic deck, and if you find a deck like this, get very good at it and understand what it does well, and also how to kill it, it can be a very, very good tool for adaptive, because it puts you in a situation where you can win game 1 and win game 2, and if it does go to game 3, this deck is much more valuable than it is because you're confident in it, which at the if you're in a situation where you could play it for 10 chain, but they could only play it for 4, that means you probably get to play it for 5. Good, right? If you could play it for 10, but you get to play it for 5, that's good. So even if it goes to chain, having a deck like this where you're going to get value out of it. So, okay, that's that. And I'll be videos for each of my matchups. Come back and see those later. Thanks.